Locomotive Safety Standards Part 229, Subpart A, General Module 2, Module Objectives. List conditions associated with the movement of the non-compliant locomotive for repair, reckoning with a properly completed tag of the for repair. Subpart A, Overview. 229.01, Scopability. 03, Actability. 04, Information Collection. 05, Definitions. 07, the Prohibited Acts. 09, Movement of the non-compliant locomotives. 11, Locomotive Identification. 13, Control Locomotives. 14, Non-Multiple Unit Control Cab Locomotives. 17, Accident Reports. 19, Prior Waivers. Actability. Part 229 applies to all standard gauge railroads operating with the general system of railroad transportation. Exemption. Part 229 does not apply to the railroad operators only on track inside installation which is not part of the general railroad system of the transportation. Rapid transit operations in an urban area do not connect with the general railroad system for transportation. Additional exemption. Locomotives used for the passenger service are for the conditional exempt from the following sections: 229-125 headlights, auxiliary lights, exterior 2 equipment only. 229-141 body structure, multiple unit locomotives. Definition. There are several definitions listed in this rule that we will discuss along with the definitions that may impact the understanding of what we'll be attempting to impart to you this week. Cab, meaning the portion of the superstructure of the design occupied with the crew operating locomotive. Control cab means a locomotive without propelling motors but with one or more controlling stands. Dead locomotive means a locomotive other than control cab locomotive that does not have any traction device supplying with attractive power, or control cab locomotive that has been locked and unoccupied cab. Event recorder means a device designed to resist tampering with the mind, with the direction, with the data, with the train speed, with the direction, mode, with the time and the distance, throttle, position, brake application and operation, include with the train brake, the independent brake, if so, equipped with the dynamic braking application operation, locomotive with the tow, with the equipped with the cab signal aspect over the most 48 years of the operational electrical systems of the locomotive on which it is to be installed with a device designed with a resist tampering with the monitors, record, specified data only when locomotives in motion shall be deemed to meet with the definition provided with the device installed with the prior May 5th, 1995 records specifically to have the last 8 hours of the locomotive was in motion. High voltage means electrical potential more than 150 volts. Light locomotive means a locomotive that consists of locomotive not attached to any piece of equipment attached only to the caboose. Locomotive means a piece of the on-track equipment other than high rail, specialized maintenance with other similar equipment, and with a combination with or with any of the following: one or more propelling motors designed for the moving of the equipment, and one or more propelling motors designed to carry the freight and passenger traffic, or both without propelling motors but with one or more control stands. Modestly locked means a latch that can be operated with a normal manner only from the sanitary compartment that is designed to prevent entry of another person from the sanitary compartment in use. Modestly locked may be designed to allow deliberate forced entry into the event of an emergency. Multiple unit means with a multiple operated electrical locomotive described below, one or more propelling motors designed to carry the freight, passenger traffic, or both, or without propelling motors but with one or more control stands. Other short-haul passenger ship of the meaning of the type of the railroad ship of the described under the heading other than short-haul passenger ship of the Title 49 CFR Part 209 Appendix A. Potable water meaning of the water that meets with the Title 40 CFR Part 141 Environmental Protection Agency primary drinking water regulation. Water has been approved for the drinking and washing purposes by pertinent state local authority have the jurisdiction purpose of the section commercially available. The bottled drinking water is deemed potable water. Powered axle means axle equipped with a traction device. Sanitary means the lack of any of the condition with a significant amount filled with trash, human waste for the present, with the size of the man, a reasonable person will believe that the condition might constitute health hazard or strong persistent chemical or human waste order sufficient to deter the use of the facility or give the rise to the responsible concern with respect to exposure with a hazard fume. Such conditions include but are not limited to a toilet bowl filled with human waste, toilet paper, or other products used with the toilet compartment that are present due to the defect of the toilet facility that will not flush, otherwise remove the wash, remove the waste, invisible human waste residual on the floor or the toilet seam seat that is present due to the toilet facility of the overflowed and accumulation of soiled paper towels or soiled toilet paper on the floor, toilet facility or sink, accumulation visible dirt, human waste on the floor, toilet facility or sink, strongly persistent chemical, human waste orders in compartment. Since serious injury means an injury result of the amputation of any of the appendage, the loss of sight in the eye, the fracture of the bone, confinement in a hospital or a period of more than 24 consecutive hours. Sanitation compartment means enclosed compartment of the railroad locomotive that contains toilet facility for the employee use. Toilet facility means the system automatically or commanded or on command with the use of the remove of the human waste placed for the treated, eliminated, retained such for the solid with the non-treated liquid waste for the therefore permitted to release into the bowl, urinal, or room that prevents harmful discharge or gases present the offensive odors. Transfer services, meaning with a freight train that travels between the point of the origin point of the final destination next to 20 miles, but is not performing switching services. Note the definition applies only to the extent context of sanitation section part 229. Washing system means a system used by a railroad employee to maintain personal cleanliness, including with a secured sink and basin water, antibacterial soap, paper towels, antibacterial waterless soap and paper towels, antibacterial moist toilets, paper towels, or any other combination suitable antibacterial chemical agents. Prohibited acts. This section essentially tracks locomotive inspection acts and language enacted by Congress. The section may be decided by the inspector when a locomotive is unsafe for use. Emphasis is added, but the defect cannot be linked with a specific section within Part 229 other than 229.7. This section also serves note that the person, railroad employee, or both, manufacturer, contractor, etc., may be subject to civil penalty for violating or causing violation Part 229. Movement of the non-complying locomotive. Locomotive defect on CFR Part 229 may move to the repair only after the qualified person has moved the following determinations. The locomotive is safe to move at the maximum speed, other restrictions necessary for safely conducting the movement. The FRA, the state motor power and equipment, the journeyman inspector, whoever is authorized to impose additional restriction for the movement with Form 8 special notice for repair. Conditions, movement of the non-complying locomotive. The locomotive develops a non-complying condition en route with the main containment and service until the next forward point where the necessary repairs can be made, or the next calendar day inspection, whichever occurs first. Speed with other restriction profile of the qualified inspector of FRA must be observed. Engineer crew members shall be notified of the writing of the restriction, if any, with all the non-complying conditions. A copy of the non-complying tag discussed on following sides is used and suffice. Non-complying locomotive. The tag bearing with the word non-complying locomotive shall be securely attached with the control stand with each multiple unit with the control cab locomotive, the isolation switch, near the engine starting switch, on every type of the locomotive. The information required with the tag shall contain the following. See next slide. Non-complying locomotive tagging. Required information: locomotive, the number, the name of the inspector, care of the inspection, location for the date, with the name, each effect with the movement, the restriction, if any, of the destination, signature for the person making the determination required by this paragraph. Non-complying locomotive yard moves. Non-complying locomotive may be moved with light or dead within the yard at speeds not in excess of 10 miles per hour without meeting with the requirement previously discussed if the movement is solely for the purpose of repair. Inoperative locomotive. The dead locomotive may not continue in the eve of the following calendar day inspection for the controlling locomotive. If the head of the train locomotive consists. Locomotive does not cease to be a locomotive because of the propelling motors are inoperative because of the control jumpers cables are not connected. Non-complying locomotives exclusion. The movement of the defect of the locomotive provision 229.9 does not apply with the cab sanitation. The cab sanitation section has its own movement provisions. Special notice for the repair used only with the head of the region of the movement. Leave the railroad will not take an appropriate shift of the safe movement of the car used only with the defect of the man imminently with the hazard head with potential cause of derailment, injury, death, damage of the property. Contact your specialist when in doubt. Special notice of the repair could give the attached with the condition movement. If you're not satisfied with the railroad impose restrictions. Movement of the non-complying locomotive. Discussion of the movement of the repair matrix. Locomotive ID. The letter F shall be displayed on each side of the locomotive, indicating the end of the front end of the locomotive. The number shall be displayed on each side of the locomotive. Control locomotive. With the locomotive is moving the gun of the provision 229.9. Whenever the two or more locomotives come up with the remote with the multiple control, all functions of the trailing locomotive respond with the action with the cab of the controlling locomotive. Standards, brakes, powers, etc. The dynamic braking, regenerative braking system is in use as the portion of the system, and use shall be respond with the control from the cab of the controlling locomotive. Non-multiple unit control cab locomotives. On each non-multiple unit control cab locomotive only deliver the components they have of the passenger car enabled to serve the lead locomotive, control the locomotive accident, providing with traffic power with other controls. Otherwise, the control of the movement of the train are subject to this part. Example: the type of locomotive includes push-pull operation, such utilized in Chicago commuter service and Metro. Accident reports. LAX incidents. Railroads are required to report serious injury of death of the result of the failure of locomotive. The component appurtenancies include electrocution. This requirement applies to any locomotive system foreign operated by the railroad. Locomotive shall be preserved intact by the railroad until inspected by the FRA, and that's the end of Module 2.